Hello and welcome to my channel, my fellow randy rascals and bastards. Welcome to a story that changed the world, a tale of liberation, divine power, and a clash that forged a nation. This is the story of Moses, a man caught between two worlds, the opulent courts of Egypt and the cries of an enslaved people. But beyond the miracles, there's a deeper story, a political firestorm that sparked the rise of the Israelites. Watch till the end to find out as we dive into Moses' world and uncover the forces that shaped history. Imagine ancient Egypt around 1300 BCE, a land of gods and pharaohs where power was everything. The Hebrews, or as the Egyptians called them, Habiru, a Semitic people, were enslaved, building cities like Pi Ramesses under the whip of taskmasters. Into this world, Moses was born. Hidden in a basket to escape the Pharaoh's decree to kill Hebrew boys, he was found by the Pharaoh's daughter and raised as an Egyptian prince. But Moses, his heart was torn. He was Hebrew by blood, Egyptian by upbringing. This duality set the stage for a life of conflict. The name Moses, meaning born in Egyptian, hints at his unique place in these two cultures. Was he a prince or a slave? His story begins with this question. The world which Moses belonged to was a power keg. Egypt's pharaohs, possibly Ramesses II, ruled as living gods. Their power absolute. The Hebrews, though, were growing restless, their numbers a threat to Egypt's control. One day, Moses saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. In a moment of rage, he killed the overseer and fled to Midian, a desert land far from Egypt's reach. There, he married Zipporah and lived as a shepherd. But the seeds of rebellion were sown. This wasn't just personal, it was political. The Hebrews were a marginalized group, and Moses' act was a spark of defiance against an empire. Tell me, could one man challenge the might of Egypt? Then came the turning point, a burning bush on Mount Sinai. God spoke to Moses, calling him to lead the Hebrews to freedom. I am who I am, God declared, sending Moses to the face of the Pharaoh with a simple demand: let my people go. This wasn't just a religious mission, it was a political bombshell. The Pharaoh, seen as a god king, ruled an empire built on slave labor. Freeing Hebrews threatened Egypt's economy and power. The 10 plagues, blood, frogs, locusts, and the death of the firstborn were divine judgments, but also a direct challenge to the Pharaoh's divine status. Each plague mocked Egypt's gods from the Nile to the sun. Moses, once an insider, now stood as an outsider, leading a rebellion fueled by faith. The Red Sea parted, the Hebrews escaped, and the Pharaoh's army was swallowed by the waves. This was the Exodus, a defining moment. But it was more than just a getaway, it was the birth of a people. In the desert, Moses received the Torah, including the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai. These laws weren't just spiritual, they were political. They forged the Israelites into a nation with a shared identity, bound by a covenant with God, not by a king. This was revolutionary. In a world of empires, the Israelites were becoming a distinct group, united by faith and law, not just ethnicity. Moses, the lawgiver, wasn't a king like the Pharaoh, he was a prophet, leading through divine guidance, not divine status. Now, let's zoom out. Why does Moses' story feel so political? It's a clash of two worlds: Egypt's imperial power versus the Israelites' quest for freedom. Egypt's records, like the Moneta stele, mention Israel as a people in the Canaan around 1200 BCE, but never Moses or the Exodus. Why? Because pharaohs didn't record defeats, only victories. The Hebrews, though, told a different story, one of divine triumph over tyranny. This dichotomy, Egypt's silence versus Israel's epic, suggests Moses' story was shaped to unify a people. Scholars think that the Exodus narrative, written centuries later actually, maybe during the Babylonian exile, was a political tool to rally Israelites against the Pharaoh rule. Moses became the symbol of resistance, his story forging a nation from scattered tribes. Look, this story isn't just ancient history now, it's alive today. From spirituals like Go Down Moses during the fight against slavery to modern calls for justice, he's a symbol of breaking chains. His world, torn between divine mission and political struggle, mirrors our own battles between power and freedom. Was Moses a historical figure? Maybe a Semitic leader? Maybe a legend shaped by faith and politics? Either way, his story ignited the Israelites' identity, a group defined not by a king, but by a covenant. That's the power of Moses, a man who stood against a Pharaoh and changed the world. Moses never got to enter the promised land, but his legacy endures. A man of two worlds, he forged a nation through faith and defiance. What do you think? History or legend? Share your thoughts below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more such stories that shaped our world.